I was having a conversation with someone the other day and they said to me, I don't like doing this. I don't like going to the shops. I never like walking to the shops. It's not for me. I hate walking to the shops. And I won't. I just won't do it. I don't just see the need to do it because I have a car. Why should I walk to the shops? And I turned around and I said to this person, I said, well, you know, the thing is, it's not important. It's not important what you do. It's not important what you do or what I do, whether I choose to walk to the shops or whether I don't choose to walk to the shops. It's not important with regards to whether you choose to walk to the shops or not either, vice versa. What is important is preferential desire. What is important is what you prefer. What is important is what you want out of it, going to the shops like this, why you do things. Well, the thing is, why people do things can be to us, because we don't understand them, a serious mystery. Sometimes we don't understand because we don't do it that way. I'll say that again. Sometimes we don't understand because we don't do it that way. Sometimes we don't understand because we have not the experience of doing it that way. But that doesn't mean it's not valid. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't do it that way. That doesn't mean that we must make a judgment on why they are doing something. So if they want to go to the shops and they want to walk, they may have a reason behind it. In fact, I recall just the other week speaking to someone, they were telling me that they disliked walking down to the toilets because we asked them to walk outside the building to the toilets outside. They wanted to use the toilets inside the building. And we had those shut off, but they weren't happy walking down to the toilets, which were less than 200 yards. And this person was working himself up and he got so angry. So I said to him, think of the pros and think of the cons. And the pros are that you have burned how many calories? Because the size of him was really big. So in terms of his benefit, I cracked a joke obviously and he started laughing, and then because the conflict was getting pretty serious, he wanted to speak to a manager, and I just kind of turned the seriousness of the conversation into a joke. And it broke the ice. We had a conversation out of it. But what I'm trying to seriously point out is the reason why people do things is not important. It may be a total mystery to us. So therefore we should strive to try and understand why people do things. We strive to understand their predicaments. We should strive to understand that there may be an underlying reason for their experience. That is an unconscious one. Even they may not even know why they do certain things. They might not even know how they've come to develop the habit or phobia of not being able to fly on the aeroplane because they fear that the aeroplane might have a crash. Yet they don't fail to understand that flying is the safest way to travel. But there again, if you do have an accident, then obviously it could be game over. However, they may fail to understand the safety of it, but because they have an underlying reason, they have an unconscious thought process. We all have unconscious thought processes, and these processes guide us. Sometimes we don't realize them. There's a reason why they call them unconscious, and that's because they are not in our conscious. So therefore now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say to you, don't be too worried as to why people do things. Don't be too worried or try and judge people for the way they do things. Don't think about or ponder over, but accept. Don't be a judger. Accept how people are. There are ways of challenging people's models of the world. There are ways of opening up people's models of the world, but that is through constructive criticism. That is through constructive questions that will open people up. And that's the art of excellent communication, which is what I'm trying to get across to you, that if you want to be an excellent communicator, first thing you need to do is learn to understand and not judge. The second thing I want you to learn to do is to accept, and you may be able to constructively probe as to why people act in a certain way. They may not want to tell you, or they might not even know themselves, or they may just feel uncomfortable about something. I myself don't do things abnormally sometimes, and there's a reason behind it. Yes, I've got a car, but I like to walk everywhere. But why have you got a car? You like walking everywhere. Why would somebody who's a high-level, high-end manager, want to become a cleaner when he's got this magnificent job with the power, prestige? He's got his own office. He's got his own workers. He's got his own typists. He's got his own cleaners to clean the desk that he works on. He's got everything. He's got a £300,000 house that he's already paid off. Why would someone like that is so successful want to become a cleaner? Why? Well, that's a mystery to us, but there is an underlying reason. We may not understand this underlying reason, but there's an underlying reason. And it could be that he's in his 50s now and he just wants simplicity in his life. So, who are you to judge? Well, he's maybe worked it out in his own mind in an unconscious process that he wants some simplicity. He doesn't want to continue running up and down. He doesn't want to continue having the stress of having to meet all these deadlines and reaching people and having all this added pressure. Maybe he just wants to have some simplicity, and maybe he wants to be non-accountable to anybody for the amount of pressure that he already has. So he decides to, or even that might not be the reason. It might just be a mystery. It might be a mystery, so we should accept what this person wants to do and respect through our acceptance what they want to do, because it's their choice. It's their life. Who are we to judge? Who are we to judge? Because if we become judges, who are we to judge? And by virtue of becoming judges, are we not opening ourselves to be judged? Stop being judgmental and be truthful to yourself. Stop being judgmental. Be wise and understand wisdom as it bubbles forth. It is not too far away from you. It is within your grasp.